Hey guys, so as I've told you last week, we are starting economics. So for the rest of this semester, we will be focusing on economics only. So our first section of economics is the beginning, the introduction. It's the 7 principles of economics. Okay, so the essential question for this unit is going to be, what is economics and how can you think like an economist? So that's what we're going to be going through as we go through these notes today. Please make sure that you are following along with the guided notes that are posted after this. It's directly under this on Canvas. You will follow along on those guided notes and then submit those at the end. All right, so there's a box at the top there on your guided notes at the beginning, and it's called your warm-up. So you're going to use the space there for your notes to respond to these 3 questions, okay? So make sure that you write incomplete sentences. I will take off points for incomplete sentences. So the question 1, what have you heard about economics? So you're just going to write a sentence about what you've ever heard or what you know about economics. Number 2, based on your real world knowledge, so like what you know about when you go to the store, what you know about the stock market, just anything you know and anything you've ever learned in any other class about what an economy is. So what is an economy would be a sentence, and then your next sentence is how does it work? So what is economy and how does it work? Question number 3. What do you want to learn about economics and the economy? So just write at least one sentence and tell me something that you would like to learn as we do this economics unit for the rest of the semester. All right. So you pause that video, answer that, and then we're on to the next part. We're going to actually start the guided notes. So what is economics? That was kind of part of your warm-up question. So it's all about choices, and the resources are limited, so economists study, and this is the part you're going to write. So when you see anything in the red, that's what you're writing in the guided notes. That's what you're going to type in using Cami, and that's what I'm going to be looking for when I grade this. So you're going to write how people choose to fulfill their unlimited wants and needs using limited resources. So now, what's the difference between micro and macroeconomics? So these are just the definitions. So the definition of microeconomics is how individuals, businesses, and households make decisions. So that's something small. Macroeconomics is how an entire economy functions. So that's the big part. So macroeconomics is the big, how the entire economy functions, whereas micro are like the parts here in the middle and throughout the macroeconomics, such as the households, individuals, businesses. All right, so now there's a box there on your guided notes, and it's titled Activity 1, and it's blank. So in that blank box, this is what you're going to be working on. So time is one of our most valuable yet unlimited resources, and that limited resources are called scarce resources. So in activity 1 box, you're going to map out how you spend your time on a given weeknight. So what you can do is in that box, you can just write about how you spend your time. You can do that kind of like as a chart, or you could do a bulleted list. Either one of those would work. Thought I had the eraser there. So after you make that bulleted list or chart, or however you choose to do that, you're going to write at least a sentence to answer the question, are you happy with how you spend your extremely limited resource? And the reason that is a limited resource for you is because it's on a weeknight. So you're in school, from at least 8 to 3. So that's a scarce resource for you. So are you happy with how you spend your extremely scarce resource, your limited resource? All right. After you have finished that, the next part of the guided notes, what is the economy? So in a given area, usually a nation, an economy describes the production, distribution, and consumption limited to resources. So remember, the part in the red is what you're writing in your guided notes. So now you'll have another blank box, activity 2. The United States has a market-based economy. So in the activity 2 box, you're going to explain how you have seen production, distribution, and consumption. So you're going to focus on those 3 areas: production, distribution, and consumption of goods in the U.S. Of the goods in the U.S. So goods being things that you buy. Or it can be things that a company makes. So explain how you've seen the production, distribution, and the consumption of how goods work in the U.S. And then you're going to write at least one sentence here of explaining, do you think our economy works well? How do you think the U.S. economy works well? Pause the video to get that done, and then we'll move on to the next one. So the next is like a kind of a different section. We're going to go into the 7 principles of economies. So what are scarcity and trade-offs? Scarcity, so it's kind of like just the word in the definition. You're going to write the red. All resources are limited. There's not a lot of them. Trade-offs is what you give up every time you make a choice. It's usually a list of options that you gave up. So scarcity and trade-offs. How does scarcity force trade-offs? Well, since all the resources are scarce, people and societies must make choices that force them to make trade-offs. So every choice requires trade-offs. So activity 3, you'll have another blank box there. Sorry, my cats are being loud. So in choosing to come to class today, you made trade-offs. In the activity 3 box, you're going to list 5 trade-offs you made to learn about economics in this class today. So you can just do a list, 1, 2, 3. You're going to list 5 trade-offs you made to learn about economics in this class today. And then you're going to write a sentence. Are you aware of the daily trade-offs that you make? Pause the video and to answer that and fill out the box. So principle 2, costs versus benefits. So what are costs and benefits? Well, costs are what you spend when you make a choice, such as time, money, and resources. And benefits is what you gain when you make a choice. So you can gain time, money, or resources. What is the cost versus principal? What is the cost versus benefits principle? When people make a choice, it's always because they think consciously or subconsciously that the benefits outweigh the cost. So if you make a choice, you're usually going to make the choice that benefits you. So what is a cost-benefit analysis? It's listing out the costs and the benefits of a decision and then making a choice. So you weigh the options. Is the benefit better than how much it's going to cost? If so, then you choose to do that. If not, then you won't. So thinking about time, money, and resources. So activity 4 on the blank box. The costs and benefits involved in going to college are significant. So when this question's thinking about college, it's not just a 4-year university college. It could be 2-year college, a community college. It could be a technical school, so like TCAT if you're planning or thinking about doing something like that. So it's not just 4-year university when we're thinking about this activity 4. So in the activity 4 box, you're going to make a cost-benefit analysis for attending college and getting, this says a 4-year degree, but we're not going to worry about that. It could be a 4-year degree, a 2-year degree, or it could be a certificate you earn at a technical school. So you're going to kind of make a chart for this cost benefits analysis. Like we'll draw, you could draw a little chart. So you would have a chart like this, and you could have the top here would say cost, and then over here it would say benefit. And I'd like for you to list at least 2. Now let's go at least 3. So that would be time here, money here, and resources here. And then on the other side of the chart, you would list 3 benefits. So this would be time, money, resources. So 3 things you would have to give up: time, money, resources, to go to some sort of post-secondary school. And then here is what would the benefits be of doing that. And so after you finish the chart, you're going to write a sentence that is going to school worth the benefits. So you kind of give your opinion right there. Is going to school worth the benefits? So you'll pause and do that until we'll move on to the next principle. So principle 3 is thinking at the margin. What is a margin? So a margin is the outside edge or border of something. So a marginal benefit is what you gain by adding 1 unit of something. So what you gain by adding 1 unit of something. So an example of that is time. What do you gain by giving up time to do something? The marginal cost is what you lose by adding 1 unit of something. So again, time could be an example there. It's what you lose when adding 1 unit of when losing 1 unit of something. So what is thinking at the margin? Considering the marginal cost and benefit involved in making a decision. So that relates to principle 2, making the decisions, doing a cost analysis chart. So an example, considering the marginal cost and benefit of consuming 1 more boba.